don't they?
Normally 5.
Yeah, 4
They
or 5
bring the
people,
board.
so we may, that might be the best thing to do.
I think today's conservation district.
Yeah.
Fingers don't want to work today. Oh my lord. Thank you. I'm always afraid I'm going to do things like that. I had Mike Lester one time. It's like, where did that come from? Golly Moses. I have to get that fixed.
Probably in your computer someplace.
Yeah, down here I just need to go in and figure out how I did that and get the names to delete. But I typed a G, so. That is all right. And I even proofed those things like 3 times, but I look right over the top of them.
Yeah, there's a word, Don, too, an extra word in paragraph towards the end. Was needs left out.
I'm trying to get open.
Uh,
Get open.
I think it was anyway, unless you changed it.
Terry pointed out that I had Gerald in as the
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that.
Might cause some controversy.
I really struggle when you guys change, like, board member positions, because it's like, especially the first, I don't know, 6 months, it shouldn't take 6 months to change that. Okay, I'm ready, I'll Jones.
Yeah, maybe I don't see it now. I thought I read it.
Trying to get values certified last week, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I guess I don't see it. Maybe I misread it when I was reading it.
I would not be surprised though.
Reads all right now, anyway.
Under the thank you, my name is spelled wrong. It's just the second letter and the third letter reversed.
Yeah, I need to get you saved in here somehow, so figure out where that's at. They call that.
These all since Alexis came on, or the previous.
I think they're all since Alexis
Okay.
came on, because I think we had Gerald Deere,
I'm sorry, what are they?
These are the,
the official minutes.
yeah, they'll go into the book. Yeah, the book that's got the minutes for the last 100 years.
Really?
Books.
It's called a
Books,
commissioner's
I guess
journal.
I should say.
Well, since the county was formed.
Some of them are pretty interesting to read. You go back 100 years.
How often do you do this, quarter or moment? It's, you know, a little bit later.
Normally about quarterly, just depends on how our schedule goes. When we have time to update them. I like to do it more often, but we've just been so busy.
Morning, Howard.
Morning.
Hi.
Can't believe it's the 5th of June already.
I was just thinking that.
Oop, this one. Trying to be careful what it is.
I tried, but I probably missed one too. Okay, so any other corrections to the minutes? Alexis, you find anything else?
I don't think so.
I couldn't find my typographical errors. So let it go.
I mean, do you want grammatical corrections or just?
Well, I just thought it was, there was a word, extra word in there, but I didn't notice it. I didn't find it. I may have misread it when I was reading it.
If you found something, that's fine. I'd rather not look like an idiot.
Counties, like the county's ownership of something has an apostrophe, but I don't remember that line too.
You know, I had that and it didn't like it. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Now I lost it.
Here, I can search it. Because I had it CUNTIES, right? Collecting the county's
E-waste, it's Y apostrophe S. Or if you're talking about multiple counties, you just put the apostrophe after the S, so counties, IES.
It would be our counties, county. We collected their counties, but that wasn't the one, there was
No, I
one.
think there's another one too, yeah.
It's down at the last word,
On that, that's the one I got.
collecting counties e-waste. I don't know whether that is possession, is it?
If it's what?
I don't know whether that's just a phrase, counties e-waste. The
No, it would
counties
be
e-waste.
like our board agreed to allow them to collect our counties, Y apostrophe S.
Yeah, but on the last word, the last, right at the end of the paragraph,
Under e-waste?
Yeah,
begin collecting the counties e-waste.
there was another one though, cause it didn't
I
like it.
yeah, I saw that too. I needed it.
Yeah, if you're talking about more than one county, it's IES.
You know, I think that last one is a singular, but when you have a plural,
Yeah,
I think it
that's the
should
one we
be.
put the apostrophe S on.
Okay, okay.
I think there's one more though. I remember spell check not liking something. Or not spell check, but the grammar thing. But that's the only one that's county. Research county. And those are the only two now, apostrophe S's. Unless the book.
Okay. Approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as corrected.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Are these the abatements for the solid waste in Sylvan?
Yes. So I think there was only 4. 2 of them they put on in June, and the other 2 they kind of visited with the landowners. So 2 of them are June, and 2 of them go on in July.
There are 4 here. Look at them.
They all went on Sylvan, so.
Yeah, there's Sylvan.
Yeah.
Somebody was collecting and we were charging or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they struggled because the people were setting out trash, and Randan was collecting, but they weren't collecting it, so they moved to whatever, it's either their water bill or their sewer bill, but whichever bill it is, if they have that hooked up, then they automatically are getting charged trash, so,
That's
that
I
what-
think it comes both on the same ticket anyhow,
yeah.
water and sewer.
Way mine is, city water and electricity, so I used to be on the county deal, but when I started out and pick up the trash, then I'm on the city deal.
They
I-
thought that would just make it easier
I
for them.
think Barnard is, if your water meter's on. You got it.
Do you need to sign these or just?
No.
But
I-
they make a
I'll have
motion.
to sign, we need a motion.
Okay, I'll move to approve the abatements listed.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I think I put them on back, oh, maybe I didn't print them, I'll print them.
I don't think there's any place for me to sign, Don.
Signature
Hang on, I'll
page
get
in there.
Any discussion? Did you see that?
That's from the cleanup day, right?
This?
Yeah.
No, this is this is every week when they pick up the trash.
On your tax bill, if you're rural, or on your city bill, you get charged $72 a year to dispose of the landfill for free. And the city was not charging them for trash collection, and they changed their policies that if they have a certain service, they're going to start charging them for trash because the people were setting out their trash regardless, and it was too hard to figure out who wasn't paying for trash and who wasn't. So these people had it also assessed on their tax roll. So
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant it was all from the day that they did, that was the extra.
Oh,
that was
no.
Cleaned up, okay, okay, gotcha.
So you print, okay. Did we vote on that?
No, we haven't.
No.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
And then I'll go print
Okay, you
those. I
print
still
those.
don't
Did you
have
see
it.
that, Bill? For crushed rock, I assume they dug something out.
Truck labor? I don't know what that means.
That means they used the truck, somebody had to provide a truck.
Hauling it, probably.
Hauling it. It may have been the rock they put around the flower beds too, I don't know.
No bodies,
No what?
no bodies.
That's probably what it is, probably the rock, because they never had covered those flower beds. So
Yeah.
that might have been what they were doing. I haven't been up there.
I haven't either.
How many turns do you did to you, Dawn?
Sometimes the businesses themselves and sometimes the nursing home mails them. But I think that one Kruger mailed, actually I think Kruger brought that one in.
I mean, I just feel like there should be some clarification because this is the perfect example of, we don't know what we're approving them to spend.
They'll be in here after a bit, looks like, so we can ask them.
Yeah, I mean, we can wait today, but I guess I would like some clarification on, you know,
Where it went.
right. Orders that I thought I printed.
Do you wanna move downstairs for the conservation district? Well, I guess we can take care of Mike.
Mike's coming soon. I thought he was.
Says he was, but I got tied up this morning, Monday morning.
May I glance at your agenda that you
Sure,
have lined
sure.
up for the time?
Are you planting?
Trying to. Got stuck a couple times.
Yeah.
Some of the draws are good as,
You gotta watch.
yeah.
I'm sure there.
The wheat's starting to turn, so everything's gonna be at one time.
Looks like it.
It really is turning, isn't it?
Last 4 or 5 days it really has.
There's gonna be wet spots in the wheat field too.
Oops, sorry.
You haven't seen Mike, have you, Don?
They're out in the hallway.
No. Are they waiting on us?
I
Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
They haven't bring their folder in.
No, I just got a few notes.
Nice
Quiet
quiet weekend.
weekends.
Okay, yeah, ish. Last week, I got a call from Ted Logan. He is the radio KDOT engineer for Troop C, which is about 20 counties. And he informed me that our backup radios, our 800 backup radios, need to be taken out of their towers, put someplace else. We have two backups. We have the south tower and the north tower. And I said, why is this easy? I told the shooter last year that it had to be done. And he explained was our primary 800, I don't, do you need me to explain the 800 system? It's been in for about 20 years, maybe 15, 20 years.
Before my time.
I think at least, I think Mike Lester was sure.
Mike Lester was sheriff in that Virginia.
The 800 system was set up by KDOT all over Kansas. They have their towers. And at that time, they let the sheriff's offices and PDs go ahead and buy equipment and use their towers. That's what we have been doing, and it's no cost to us at all, just maintain the equipment. Well, there's two systems. There's the primary, is the P225, that's what we transmit on. And then we have the backup, which is conventional 800. He explained that we need to take the backup out of these towers in case something happens and both towers go down, and both systems go down, and we will not have any radios. So he suggested we take the backup somehow, put them someplace else. And that's where we are now. Now, my understanding is our emergency tower has a building that's climate controlled, and there may be enough room for us to put our system in there.
To a certain extent, it's climate controlled, yeah. I don't know how often they're checking on it, to make sure that
But I think right now that's our only option. I don't know anywhere else where we can put it.
The south tower, it's on the rack system, I guess. The north tower, it's its own unit, it's about 5 feet tall.
I don't think the tower up north here is not climate controlled, is it?
No, that's just a Conex,
Yeah.
and it's not road-proof.
We use it for the highway department. I don't have an objection to it.
Well, I suggest maybe we contact either KCOM and what's the other guy from
I
Phillipsburg,
don't know.
to see if they may want to submit bids on what it would cost to have us put them up there.
Put an antenna up and stuff.
Are we under a time frame?
Well,
I believe they're on hooks right now.
yeah,
Oh.
Ted said we need to get them out.
Then we're gonna get anyway, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's how I would proceed.
Yeah, I think you'll have to go out and get a couple of bid or see what's gonna cost us to, and see if it's feasible. On what we'll do if we can.
Well, we have the equipment, all they have to do is just
Move it,
install it
yeah.
and add a couple of antennas. So,
Is there anyone locally that does anything like that?
these Motorola systems, you have to be licensed to install or maintain any kind of Motorola systems. KCOM and then
Next to,
Next
no,
to-
he just left, he has his own business now.
Is that Tech Tim or
I think so.
Tim Tech or Tech something?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Mike O'Hara's using somebody else, I think I heard him tell Dennis Ray.
I think he's from Phillipsburg, what's his name? They've used it before.
We buy our radios from him, but I can't think of his name. They never, I can't remember. I would say that's probably the best solution if we can make it. There's plenty of room in that building.
There is.
It's a 20-foot storage container. And there's quite a bit of room. I don't know how big this thing is, but all that's up there is repeater.
My question is, if we just do one tower, I don't
Instead of
think
two.
the north tower would reach from that location up to the border area, so I don't know if we just do the south tower, and just have one. Because I don't think there's.
I can't answer that question. The radio guy.
Sage Drive, the direction line is about, when we did have the conventional system, that's where we'd switch to the north tower, because you couldn't get out from that area without, you couldn't reach the south tower if you were up north of Sage Drive. So if we use that tower, I think,
My understanding is that you could raise that tower a little bit to where it's probably line of sight, you might be able to
it
see
might be
Barnard.
essentially like.
If you could hit Barnard, you could just about hit anything in the county.
Yeah, that's about true.
But it's a backup system in a pinch, so it's, we're not gonna use it all that often.
I don't remember how much they added onto that tower. I don't know, you know, we have the voters to get back out of Barnard on Handale, on the 155.
Well,
I don't think they're having any problems much.
If we can get by with just one of the units and just keep the other ones a spare, I think. You don't need to have two, if you're only gonna put it in one spot, there's no need for two of them. But we'll ask whoever's gonna bid on it.
Yeah, that gives you a better idea, I think. You know, you can try it, see if it works. Otherwise, I don't know of anything up that way. We've got that little tower for the voters, but it don't mount anything. And that's not climate controlled.
And tomorrow is Michael Dale's 6th month. He's graduated from the academy. And we'll be here 6 months tomorrow.
So is it this pay period, Dawn?
6 months tomorrow.
It would be the following pay period, so it'd be effective June 25th. Is that what she told you? Or
That's
June
right,
26th?
Is it 6 months or graduate from the academy? Do you remember?
We looked back and it had always been 6 months and graduate from the academy.
Says employee must complete both KLETC and 6 months of service.
He graduated May 2020.
So it would be effective for the July pay period, so June 26th.
We can approve it, but it doesn't take effect until the July pay period. Is that 50? Is that what they're doing?
Yes.
I would move to give Michael Dale a 50-cent raise for completing KLHEC and 6 months of service effective July pay period.
Second? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion after that? Vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. How many guests we got?
Two.
Two
Um,
guests.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant conservation district. A ton, and I sent him downstairs. Sorry. Didn't realize he wasn't through with you guys.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Thank
You bet, thank you, Mike.
We'll adjourn downstairs, I guess, we're done. Soil conservation, I guess. When we move back up, then you think?
It's up to you guys.
I would assume, you think we'll just move back up?
What else we got? We might just well stay there.
I don't care.
We might just go down and stay there.
Kelly, I think, is bringing the interns in
Oh,
Let's
okay.
stay.
to introduce.
And then we'll stay down.
Okay.
You carrying this down?
Yeah.
You want me to carry something for you?
Are you ready, Don?
Yep.
Okay, soil conservation. Who's your spokesman?
That's fine. Do it. a joint effort.
Okay.
You can come up and sit down if
You
you'd
come up
like
and sit
to.
down if you want to.
Okay.
What?
You have the copy there, or do
Yes.
they need another one?
I have this. I'll give one to Dawn as well. With some of the write-ups that we had last year.
Okay.
This is some of what we did throughout the year, different activities we've been involved with. The poster contest, the
Fourth grade field day.
fourth grade field day at the fairgrounds, and then other cost share programs and things that we're a part of, Equip and WIP and everything that way.
And that's just a list of the stuff that we have done. It's not all inclusive by any means, so.
Yeah, some of the highlights.
Yes.
And then this is our proposed budget.
Pardon me?
Do they get the operations side?
Yes,
Because there's
it's
one
the
side.
operations,
Okay.
yes. Right.
We're asking for the same thing we have the last couple years. We know things are tight, and if that works. If you look at the bottom line, it kind of looks like it's been going down. The technician, the DOC technician, he spends most of his time out of the Salina office, and we're just a thoroughfare for that. And we've decided that it'd be easier for their office to maintain him, and they see him on a regular basis and can evaluate him better than those of us that don't. So those funds have gone away from our budget and make it look like it's gone down a fair amount, but that money was basically just a thoroughfare through our account to pay him. So that's where some of that reduction has come from. And then the state reduced us a little bit from what they were supposed to match what you gave us, and they're down some. But
And with addition to that, just in that column 3, that proposed 2018 budget, if you notice down there with the state appropriation, we went ahead and put the $20,000, which is what their match would be, because that's what you guys graciously give us. And even though they said that for 2018 we could expect a 4.8% cut in our budget, so that's an additional $837 or so to that. But if for some reason the state would have some money, then they could bump that back up to that full match. So I
Good
know.
luck with that.
I understand that. But if we would only put on there what the $16,800 that they would give us, then they would not be able to give us that extra that they owe us. So that's why we have to, we put that in there.
I saw this
Even though
morning.
we know they're not, we're not gonna get that from the state, but that's why we have to put it in there so they can bump it up.
This
So-
morning I see they're throwing the tax bill in with the school bill, combining the two to try to get them
try
passed.
to make them go through.
Hey,
That'll be fun, so. Anyway, so on that was
Yeah.
20,000. And then just to kind of explain a little bit, we do have cost share programs that come through our office, and that money comes from the state. And that information is on page 4 of your packet that we gave you. And last year I did a 10-year summary of it, and so that's what I did this year, went back the last 10 years. For our water resources cost share program, which is our terraces, waterways, ponds, things like that, terrace restoration. And then we also have the non-point source program, which is basically that money goes specifically to repair or replace, failing or illegal septic systems. And so I gave you the amount that we allocated in cost share dollars, as well as we can go in and we can get what the landowner actually paid to get that. And so that's a difference in the amount there.
About halfway down the page.
Yeah,
those two
sorry.
paragraphs.
Paragraph 5 and 6.
And then 7 has the WIP and the EQIP, CSP, CRP, all the other conservation programs people can sign up for, contracts that were in each of those.
And the importance of that, those are the federal programs, those come from the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And I'll point out, Levi Gibson is our new district conservationist. In the office, we want to make sure that you were introduced to him, so if you come in your office, you'll see him. He's the new Monty, is what we, is how everybody refers to him. So he's a permanent fixture. So anyway, those, the WIP, the CSP, the EQIP, those are all the federal programs, but all of those contracts come through the conservation district. The board actually sits down, reviews those contracts, and signs off on them. So we feel like we have a bite in that as well. And then the CRP, which goes through the Farm Service Agency, those contracts, contracts and plans come through the board, and so they review every one that comes through the county. So if there's something that they don't feel that's proper is going on, it's only happened once, and that was before I started here, but they can voice their opinion and not sign that, and then they can go back to the Farm Service Agency County Committee and voice their concerns with that particular application. So I think you've got a really strong voice here. With the 5 of us, we're missing one today, but they do a very good job, I think, of representing the farmers in Lincoln County. So, and I shouldn't say just farmers, because we do activities with
Kids.
just kids and adults. They don't have to be ag producers or participate in our programs.
Yeah, our septic systems and different things are open to anybody, so.
Is the conservation district its own entity? How's it qualified? How do you file?
We are a subdivision of the state. That's how we fall under there. So, because we are the conservation district law, and we fall under the state, and half of our operations funds comes from the county, and then they'll have matching up to $25,000 comes from the state. So, but we're kind of separate. I mean, I'm not on the county payroll. I don't get county benefits. I mean, that I get our own salary and then capers. So it's kind of one of those. I shouldn't say catch-22 things, but it's your subdivision, but you're part of an entity. So.
You guys
Any other
consider us,
que-
we appreciate it.
Yep.
If you have any
Yes.
questions,
Any other questions for the conservation board?
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
If you
Your
should
work.
have any,
thank you for your time.
You
thank you
bet.
for your time. If you have any questions,
Thank you.
Yep.
give us a holler.
Thank you guys for your
Appreciate
service.
it.
Yeah, thank you. Bicycle on me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Was there a budget for increase in spending?
No,
No,
it
S-
was,
same.
yeah.
same as the last 2 or 3 years.
Same dollar amount, so evaluation goes up, the mill levy for them will go down then.
Well, they asked for a certain amount, not a,
Does that come out of the general? It comes out of the general account, the general fund. So they don't have an appropriated specific levy for just them.
yeah.
It's basically granted to them from the general fund.
The thing is, whatever we give them, the state matches up to $25,000. So if We give them 20,000, which is what they budget for us to give them, and the state matches that, but they're getting a cut, as they said, 4.8% or something cut.
Bring up another chair.
Last year, the county gave 20 and the state gave 17,428.
They don't quite match like they say they're going to.
Yeah,
Are you-
come on.
okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
we're
wanna-
ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready.
Well, I just
Good
wanted,
morning, Kelly.
oh, good morning.
Hello?
I just wanted to introduce these two guys to you. I think a while ago, and I don't even remember when, I told you or came to you guys and said that I was gonna be applying for a grant to have 2 summer interns. So these are the summer interns. It worked out. And so this is Landon Cook. He is a 4th year architecture student at K-State. And his primary project will be working on the old high school here in town. The goal with that is, obviously it's a big building, it does need some work, but what do we do with it? And I think it's an asset somehow to the community, but we need to figure out how. And so his primary responsibilities as we get going here is to measure the building and drop some basic floor plans, because those have been lost. And so until we really know kind of what the space is and dimensions and stuff, it's going to be hard to figure out what to do with it, or if we recruit a developer of any kind, that's going to be the first question is
Who owns that currently?
the 1922 Foundation. When the school sold the building, they sold it to an individual, and I'm not sure how long he had it, maybe a couple years, I think. And then a group of local people bought it from him. I think they were really worried that it was going to be a situation where somebody from who knows where was going to buy it up, thinking that it was going to be this it's a great deal kind of thing, and we would forever not have any control over what to do with the building. So it's a couple people locally who kind of pitched in the money to buy it and created a nonprofit. So they're the ones who own it, but obviously they don't have a lot of money to do anything with it either. So
The West Edition is owned by someone else.
that's true.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's
The main
the
building.
original school property is now split into 2, with the band room and the wood shop being owned by somebody else. So he's gonna put just basic floor plans together, and then hopefully through some community input, try to get some ideas of what this could be and create some conceptual plans for it. Just so my hope is that maybe an idea will kind of start to gel a little bit. So by the end of the summer, and maybe we kind of like, well, let's just try focusing on this direction a little bit more and see where it goes. So that's the plan there. And then the other intern is Mason Herman. He is also a 4th year at K-State in regional and community planning. And so his primary project is parks and trails. For trails, to put together some sort of walking path for Sylvan and for Barnard. And then here in Lincoln, we're going to kind of talk some big picture. Ultimately, we'll narrow it down, but the idea is to get lots of public input from the communities about what they would like to see. And probably, though, for Lincoln, he'll end up really more focused on City Park. Because, I mean, since I've been here, we've talked about Frisbee golf course out there, new bathrooms, walking paths, the pool. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, and so how does that all work together instead of everybody sort of planning on top of each other? And that's kind of a year ago, the Live Healthy Lincoln County group, they had a consultant that kind of tried to help that group narrow down what it is that they should be working on, because they were very scattered. And what came out of that through public input in Sylvan and Barnard and here, it was walking paths, better connectivity amongst the community between the school and the parks. And so he's going to try and help put that down, because since then we've talked about lots of ideas, but they're all sort of this image in our mind, and nobody's been able to get it down on paper. So if we ever want to move forward with grant applications, we've got to have a plan. And that's kind of what he's there to help us do. So, like I mentioned, we got their salary is actually paid for by the Dane Hansen Foundation and K-State Extension. So technically they are K-State employees. But our end of the bargain is that we had to provide housing for them. And so that's what we are providing. But hopefully it'll be a good.
Where are you guys from?
From Manhattan.
Victoria, Kansas.
Victoria?
Yeah.
So you're still kind of locals.
So anyway, if you see them around, whether here in the courthouse or out and about in the communities, then you know what they're doing. And if you see somebody poking around the high school, he's not a squatter. He's not. He's got his clipboard and his.
Is that where you're
memorization.
keeping them at?
No, they're
Right
not
now.
living there. But yeah, so I'm excited to have him here. This is last week was our first week on the job, so pretty much just kind of getting settled in here. So that's all I
Welcome
wanted to know.
to Lincoln County.
Yep.
Appreciate your willingness to come.
Yep.
Service. We're looking for major accomplishments and
No
$1
pressure.
million idea.
I guess will you guys say your names? I guess I didn't think
Oh,
about that, but
I'm Aljo Wallace.
Terry Finch.
Alexis Flew.
and Aljo is kind of Barnard area. He's very involved in Barnard Lions Club. And Terry is here in town, and Alexis is over in the Sylvan area. That's all I got. Unless you got any questions or anything else about?
Anything else you need to?
Nope,
need to
I
know?
just, no, this is kind of what I wanted to let you guys know today, so. Cool, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Have a good summer.
Thanks for.
Yeah, you guys too. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Don, did we take care of everything else upstairs that we needed to?
I believe so.
I just have this Kruger backhoe bill and what's on the agenda, right?
Right.
Does anyone have anything else to bring up? I guess I'm just gonna kinda inform you, the weather, I need to leave as soon as I can.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do too.
yeah.
Yeah, so if we.
Dawn, did we get any answers to the questions from last week would be my only.
Which questions? If we're,
Does
special
this-
mission grant looking at.
Okay, and are you required to list attendees?
That one I haven't found an answer for because everybody that I sent a WAN to said they list all attendees. Anybody that walks into the room, they list.
You mean other counties?
Other counties, yeah.
What counties do you communicate with?
I just sent out a WAN, which, well, it goes out to all of the counties.
Oh.
So the counties respond. Which not all of them come.
Road and Bridge not gonna show this morning?
Yeah, they'll be here at 9 o'clock. I assume. I haven't heard from them. We didn't hear anything from Campbell and Johnson, did we?
No.
Your sister was back, I see Saturday. Sorry. Your sister was here Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't see her.
It can be transferred back.
It can.
50,
Okay, excuse me.
50.
Yeah.
This year's coming. But other than field, dark.
I didn't come over, I just saw the picture, and Connie sent a picture of them. There's some of them, took me a while to figure out who they were. So they told me who was there, and then
Dawn, what's the Wi-Fi password
that,
under guest?
there was one in there. I couldn't figure that out. Tall, big, tall guy. I knew it couldn't be Greg Teach, and Shelley's dead, and I knew it wasn't Polinsky.
Shelley.
Shelley Morton's dead. It was Living Good, Rich Living Good. He didn't graduate, but he was here back.
He
He
left
was,
me in half.
yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Partial basketball.
Kind of made me feel good that Dale Oldmiller, I didn't recognize him until they told me he was there, and then I could figure out which one he was. Harry Kessler was there. I don't think I've seen him since we graduated. Took me a while to figure him out too. And then Imogene Lloyd. Just could not, she doesn't look anything like she did in high school. Looks like she's 100 years old. What? Sarah told me, she said, is that who it is? And I said, yeah.
Yes, she was really looking forward to it, but I didn't.
There wasn't a very big turnout as there was previous years.
Remember that big deal Saturday night, I don't know how it went.
Ground's getting hard. Ooh, geez. This is, man. Brother got back finally from his cruise in the month of May over in the Baltic Sea. Hi there, Paul.
Are we gonna meet in here or somebody else meeting in here?
Oh, I forgot all about you guys.
Transportation Board.
We are, but we'll have you meet upstairs in the commissioners.
We go where?
To the commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Paul.
Go say something to the girls.
Sorry, is that okay?
Planting that field there, I'm running at an angle. I think it's a mile and a half.
There is?
Just kick back.
You got GPS, you got,
No,
oh, you have to drive?
pretty straight till I got to the river and I had to kind of angle around it on my first run.
Yeah.
I think it's about a mile and a half. At the longest point.
If we get clear to the creek, in the hayfield, it's 1.25 miles, that's long.
Yes, it is.
Now, the auditors will be here, not this week, but next week, so they will have to take over this room and use it.
Okay,
It's a possibility that they won't be here till afternoon, I'll figure that out.
all right.
What is their name again, the company name?
Not Lindbergh. What's the name of that company?
Lindbergh, Vogel, something.
Oh, is it Lindbergh?
Yeah, I believe.
Vogel, yeah.
Where are they from?
Hutchison.
How long have we used them?
Forever.
Yeah. Well, we used to use Pearson Ferris, but then Pearson Ferris joined Lindbergh and Vogel, so I think it's Lindbergh, Vogel, Pearson Ferris, Charter is what I think it's called.
We're not on a, we don't do like a rotation of every couple years, or?
No, there's not very many auditors that do accounts. And they take care of, this group takes care of quite a few more counties than what Pearson Ferris and municipalities.
About all our surrounding counties use them. Mitchell, Ottawa, Republic, I think, not Republic, yeah, Republic, Jewel,
See, they had another earthquake,
and Jewel.
south of Mankato again. There's one little area there they've had.
So if they're coming here, Dawn, does that mean, are we under contract with them, or?
Yes, they'll send us a contract in December of each year to audit the books and complete the budget for the following year. And so they will come in a couple of weeks and complete the audit, and normally they're here for a week. But we've already emailed them documents, so that they kind of know what they're looking for when they come.
Did you say next Monday?
No.
Two.
I want to say it's like the
19.
19th. And they're normally here all week long. And then they'll come back in July to do the budget. The preliminary budget. And I have that date already, I just don't remember what it was. But they'll meet with Mitchell County in the morning and have here in the afternoon.
Have they ever made a ruling on employee benefits?
I don't
Have they
think
ever
so.
changed the law so we're not, tax levy doesn't apply to employee?
I don't believe so.
I don't think it passed. I don't
Are
know
we
if
gonna
it
try to
passed.
break out, emergency stuff out of that, or?
Well, we don't have to physically move it from the fund, but we have to identify, basically what we'll do is we'll set up a spreadsheet and we'll calculate what each of those people's benefits are, and then we can increase the employee benefits
Okay.
fund for those folks.
So we can up them and not up the,
I mean, we can up the employee benefits fund, but we just have to prove that it was for emergency services.
Okay,
So-
all right.
And I think we have enough,
Reserve?
if you want to call it reserve, but I think we have enough because of the fact that we levy for the potential of people increasing,
Yeah.
and sometimes they don't. I think we have enough fluctuation. If our premiums go up 50%.
Have they determined what the percent of consumer price index that we're gonna work with?
They have, but I don't know what it is
Okay.
off the top of my head. Let me see.
That's already been determined?
Yes,
Okay.
because it's based upon, I think, 2 years prior. I actually have that upstairs. so I can-
Okay.
The CPI rate for this year's budget will be 1.4%, and it's the average of 2020. through 2016.
2012, so it's a
2012 through 2016,
5-year
What
roll.
did you say, 1.6?
1.4%.
So you're saying these surrounding counties have also used this particular firm for a long time?
Quite a few of them have. I know Ottawa, Mitchell, and Cloud were with Pierce Ferris when they merged with Lindbergh and Vogel. But Lindbergh and Vogel had quite a few counties as well. I don't know who they all are.
Morning.
Morning, guys. Well, what about the truck? Do we own a truck or not a truck? We own a truck.
It's not a truck.
And it ran home.
Yeah, brought back Friday, I was down there at the doctor, I stopped, visit with him, give him a check. Said, I'll leave a tag on, you can take it home, bring the tag back, come back by sometime. So I rounded up the barn, the boys brought it on over this morning. Sitting up there in the shop now, they're service it up, make sure everything's okay. They were pretty much satisfied with it when they had Jarrett and Lance looked it all over and drove it the other day. They couldn't find anything wrong. It's got all new brakes on it, 2 new computer systems on the motor. It was overhauled about 3,000 miles ago. So. New bed on it, here's the old bed. Where we'll go with it, whether we'll put the other welded bed on and get rid of that one, or try to modify it, or see where we're at right now with it.
Good.
What did you have to pay for it?
16. Didn't think that was bad for, like I said, almost new tires and the brakes and the overhaul and computer system and stuff. New bed and stuff. I hope it will be as good as it looks and runs right now anyway.
What else you got, Michael?
And we're looking like we're gonna get into some drier weather here, thank goodness. Hopefully here in the next week or 2 we can get started on Steve Schneider's road if everything gets dried out enough. We'd like to get that bumped out of the way here if we can. And we should be able to hopefully start hauling some gravel this week. Do some testing on some piles, see if they're gonna dry out enough for us to get some gravel on the roads. Visited with Murphy Tractor this morning, and they're saying that the new blades should be delivered around the 22nd to them, and then they're going to have to do some work to them to get them ready for us. So hopefully by 1st of July we'll have them. And then there's Alexis mentioned doing some maps and stuff like that for tracking some work, and I did some research into a company that offers electronic tracking of jobs and stuff like that, and it allows the public to be able to give some information, GPS and everything else, and has a computer generated mapping system and workflow and everything else that goes with it. Had a little bit of a webinar with them last week, and it's very interesting how it works. You know, I haven't dove all the way into it, but what they have to offer is very interesting on how it works. Very user-friendly, drop-down boxes with predetermined concerns and whatnot. There's several ways to look at it. You know, I don't think we're going to be providing everybody a smartphone or an iPad or something like that on the crew. That'd be pretty expensive to do, but some of the employees, you know, if they choose to use their own phone to do some of that, I suppose it would be fine. You know, as far as Bob and I go, we can go out to a location, get the GPS, take a photograph and everything, and it would be stored right into the map. And
Okay,
each-
so this company is called Dude Solutions,
yes.
but what's the name of the product that they're selling?
I believe it is the Mobile 311. It's in the first paragraph on the workflow management is where they list it.
Oh, Mobile 311, okay.
They do a lot of work in the what I would call somewhat public sector, as far as like public works and cities and municipalities. They do hospitals, healthcare, and also schools in a little bit different fashion of everything. It's a cloud-based program, and then it's subscription-based, so you don't have like a contract, so if you cancel, they'll prorate out if you do not like it and whatnot, so.
How many companies did you find selling something similar? Not very many.
This is the only one to this extent that I found.
They're kind of on the cusp, cutting edge.
Yeah, they're, believe it or not, the individual I visited with used to be a public works director in Finney County. But it was his last day. He was moving back to Colorado or something, but anyways, he said that nobody in Kansas has used this yet, but they have, what, like 10,000 customers throughout the US, so.
What kind of cost are we talking?
First year would be $2,645. And then that's,
Is it a year subscription or a monthly?
Yes,
It's
year.
for a year.
and that's basically get everything set up the way we want it and whatnot. It's the reason why it's more expensive. And then following years would be $1,985.
How much?
$1,985.
But the first year was $2,645.
You know, would all the data have to be re-entered into the system, or is there a way that some of the data we have can be transferred into it, or?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could get everything transferred into it. It will take time to do that, of course. You know, the one thing that I really enjoyed about it and liked is the fact that it's digitized and paperwork. You don't have moving between several different people and the chance of it getting lost or put in the wrong stack or whatever it may be. All these sheets are, I believe, we didn't go into each item like real specific, you know, they're kind of just giving us a general overview to see our interest before they invested a lot of time and effort on their end to nail everything out.
So do they do a setup for you, or are you responsible to do it yourself? They just sell you the package of software?
Well, that's why the first year's a little more expensive. They help
Because they-
get it set up to some extent. You know, they're not gonna come and start doing any data input as far as what we have on projects
Right.
and whatnot. But yeah, as far as customizing it to what we want the drop boxes and all that to do and whatnot, you know, there's even a end of it that, you know, okay, we know we got a culvert washed out, so we can say we need these 3 people there, this equipment there, and it'll kind of throw together an estimate on what the project may cost. You know, it's not gonna be down to a T, but, you know, it's a project estimate for us.
And so it's saying you have your own access as a department, and then there's a public portal
Yes,
for them to put in something, and that way you're instantly updated on whatever.
yeah.
Doesn't seem like a hefty price to pay considering the expense of our machinery and people.
Yeah, you know, and it's, I think there's room for customization and tweaking it to aspects that would help us out compared to somebody else. You know, it's not just a flat rate product where this is what it is and you're stuck with it type stuff. They're willing to work with us. So.
Are you expecting that this would become your position of oversight for this program?
To some extent, yes. You know, it's something that it would have trickle down all the way, but yeah, I would probably be the prime on it and then get the information out to Bob. You know, of course, Bob be able to review stuff too, and Liz or whoever.
I like the part where it said you can do printouts, so, I mean, obviously I've never seen this, but if you can do a printout, it said something about Excel or a map or a spreadsheet of some sort.
And if we ever progressed into having a larger GIS department or something along those lines, they use Esri, which is very, very common in the GIS. So, you know, the data would transfer back and forth pretty easily. Produce different layers and stuff like that, you know, because if we were more on the GIS end of things, I mean, even like our bridges, I didn't discuss this directly, but we do have that all GPSed on the bridges themselves, that we should be able to bring that back into the map and have that as a layer on it. And as time goes by, a person could eventually get culverts and stuff like that in a layer on that at some point in time. It will not be an easy task on culverts based on the total number of culverts and different sizes.
Yeah. We're blessed with a lot of them.
Too many sometimes.
Too many all the time. I don't have
That,
a problem with it, I think.
so the tracking
Everything
that
we
we're
do
doing on the
benefit.
motor graders, does that integrate with this?
No, no, that's a standalone system. It kind of does a little bit different. I did ask him that as far as tracking goes, you know, if we did supply somebody with iPhone or iPad or whatever other brands there are, but that you can turn on a follow me aspect of it so we can actually follow them around. But
What do we pay, how do we pay for the tracking system that's on the graders now?
it's a monthly or a yearly subscription.
It's a yearly subscription, do you know?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
First 2 or 3 years, the equipment was on the deal too, so it was a little higher when we first started that program.
Yeah, it cost a little
Then
bit.
we paid for the equipment up front, I can't remember.
Would this eliminate the need for that?
I believe they do 2 totally different things. You know, the GPS that we currently have is more than just monitoring their location. It's monitoring the equipment itself too.
Hours and services
It does,
and,
well,
Speed,
not
problems.
services, but it does speed and location. It does all kinds of alerts, like if somebody get on a motor grader in the middle of the night, it's gonna alert me, you know, or if they're working after hours or whatever it may be, you know, it does, some of them do a little bit more than others, but you know, you get your voltage and, you know, it kinda gives you the diagnostics on the vehicle itself too. You know, it gives us, speed alerts if somebody's driving too fast. It'll let us know that too.
What company is that?
GPS Insight.
Do you think it's comparable price to this other program? Do you remember at all, or what we're paying?
Based on the GPS,
Just for this,
GPS Insight,
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure. I don't even wanna say what it is, I'd have to research it. Pull it up.
what is that budgeted under in your department?
Contract.
Just, pretty sure it's our contractual.
The annual maintenance on the GPS is $23.42.
2342. Thank you.
Wow, yeah. Well, I would say based on the numbers alone, it definitely looks like something we should be considering heavily. If we don't have any other comparisons in this company.
I can do more research on that too, but at the moment I don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty, thorough as far as the different aspects of what it provides.
They're supposed to be getting me some more information out to me for the
Do you guys
to see.
understand what we were discussing? So we had been talking about how to map and track, you know, other counties use a big map as big as this table to map and track and mark everything that's going on to try to keep up and prioritize where guys are and what crews and how much time or what project would be coming down the line. And so Michael did some research and he found this company. It's called Dude Solutions, but they have a program called Mobile 311, and it's a computer program that you input all your information as far as your mapping and what equipment you have, and then the projects that you're working on and the locations of different things. And it will allow not only the department to access that program through the computer, but also the public could go in and say, hey, you know, my bridge is washed out or my culvert is plugged, and it pinpoints the exact location so that when they look it up, it really saves the driving time, it saves the confusion on who, what, when, where, and why. It's a more sophisticated,
And they can attach a
technological
photo
way.
at that time and a description and everything. And
can
it's-
upload photos and, yeah.
Potentially save a trip out there. I mean, you're still gonna have to go out there, but you know, the initial
Right.
trip is potentially saved.
Right. Well, just to be able to have it in front of you where you can see multiple things at the same time instead of 15 different papers that you're looking at and the physical map. I mean, that's,
Now, is this a live visual or just a?
it said something about real time.
For us, you know, I
Yeah.
don't believe all that needs displayed out there for
No, I don't,
everybody to know where we're at any given moment.
there's a specific access for the public, but this other one said something about real time. And that would probably be interdepartmental communication, you know.
Does it allow imagery to be sent in? Cool.
Yes. I'll just read this. Simplify your citizen request process. Allow citizens to attach photos and location information to requests. Simplify requests by allowing requestors to submit and track the status of work orders. Provide automatic updates to citizens to keep them informed and up to date. Improve communication between citizens and employees. Reduce risk by ensuring your most pressing and prioritized needs. Improve operational insight by producing and sharing analysis and reports. collect the necessary data in real time with timestamps. That's what I was wondering. So basically, when that person would put in that request would have a timestamp and it would be dated and logged as, you know, this happened on Thursday the 13th at 6 p.m. or whatever.
Might that be useful for emergency services as well? Find out what's going on, where they gotta send people.
I mean, there's no doubt that the world is moving in this direction, no matter what we do. Digitized information until it crashes,
One big solar flare.
right? And though we may have small population here, we still have land mass and miles of road comparable to any other surrounding area, so. I'm actually surprised at the price. I would think that it would be more expensive since it's kind of a newer.
I think it's been around quite a while. It's just maybe not in the public works sector for very long.
Private.
You know, they started out, I believe, with schools first, and then they moved on to hospitals and healthcare, and now they're municipalities as far as public works goes.
Hey, Mike. Looks like there's some interest in it.
Okay. The other thing I have is I'd like to request an executive session for about 5 minutes to discuss the contract.
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 Did you hear that, Don?
Yeah.
How long do you need?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I'd move go into executive session for 5 minutes, discuss the contract.
Do I have a second?
Are there specific parties involved that just you and the commissioners?
Who do you want in?
Just us and Dawn can be here. That's
Dawn.
fine.
Does she have input on the situation?
I don't believe so.
Okay, then I mean, if you request her for information, that's fine. I guess I would like to strictly adhere to executive session
Okay.
guidelines, which are, don't add parties in unless they are pertaining to the particular situation. I don't personally want to get tripped up in anything like that, so that's my suggestion. That's fine.
I shouldn't need any information from her, so that's your decision there.
Do I have a second?
Bob,
Bob can be here, yes.
I will second the motion for executive session with the Highway Department, Road Supervisor, and Public Works Director, the
Any
Commissioner.
discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. 5 minutes, Don.
I've got you going at 9:28,
9:28, okay.
so 33. And it's by my computer, I hope that's okay.
Yep.
What you do is put your gravel in the windrow and then bring the rock in and windrow it into the other windrow. That's about all you do.
Yeah, generally, most all the time, it'll work out. Everybody gets all excited to get the first couple rains, take any material to get it settled down and worked out. Depends on the type of rain. We get some of these slow rains and stuff. It's gonna be a mess, no matter what you put on there, till it gets packed in, settled in once, and then it'll start straightening it out. So, everybody gets excited the minute they go out after they lay new gravel. Get a slow drizzly rain, it's all cut up and tore up. Well, it just takes a while, you gotta be patient a little while.
I assume you'll need a motion to purchase rock, right?
5,000 tons, what you're talking. I would move to purchase 5,000 tons of 1-inch road
1
stone.
inch roadstone,
From
Fort site.
Quartzsite.
8.75 a ton.
We don't have to list that, do we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we should.
No. We have a second.
We may
I
be,
was-
We don't have an exact,
I'll
probably
second.
might be.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to enter into a contract to purchase 5,000, right?
5,000.
Yes, ton.
Ton for road rock on Quartzsite. Questions?
I would like to clarify when we plan on listing machinery, if that's going to be part of the plan to offset the expense in our budget.
You really can't tell the blades get here
Yes.
July 1st.
When the, well,
Once-
that's an answer.
yes.
When the blades arrive.
So
Yeah.
hopefully sometime in July or actually August, 'cause we usually have, they list them for approximately about a month, 3 weeks to a month
Okay.
from sale date. So I am hoping that the sale date will actually occur in the month of August.
Any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, what else we got, Michael?
That's all I have for today.
That's all you got? You sure?
I hope.
Bob?
Well, I don't have a lot more than what we discussed. We, like I say, still working on some culverts, trying to get cleaned out. Got a couple more old box bridges that caved in, undermined on them, so they're, start working on them today too, so. Just trying to catch up on that stuff.
Did you get a chance to look at that one Howard brought up last week?
The culvert issue?
Yeah.
Yes, I was up there last week.
What about the one down in Colorado that's in the creek?
Oh, McCosh's there. Well, McCosh's and then Beverly both. I got two of them down there. We're gonna try to get the one bridge that caved in down there, but Beverly pulled up out of there and stuff, so it's not blocking drainage here
Yeah.
as soon as we can.
We think we can pull it up out of there?
I think we can. We get the dozer over there. I think we can get it up out of there. And we'll try to figure out what we're gonna do with it. Probably have to break it up and haul it off some way. Not much of a way we can reuse it up that I can see right now.
Did they get all the cement crushed yet?
We're still working on it.
They're still
We're
working.
getting close. We've been fighting moisture pretty bad out there. You know, it's affected our final product outcome a lot. Because the fines haven't fallen off the rock, it's stuck as cement to the rock, so it's got a lot more dirt in certain parts of it than
We'd like.
I would like, yes.
Well, there'd still be a place that could be utilized.
Well, yeah, then it'll wash off in the rain too. It'll settle down.
Yeah, it'll take a little while. to
It'll
get
take
it done.
a little while, but it'll.
I think it helped. We hauled a little bit, a couple of really soft spots we've had there. Couldn't get settled down. The whole road in there, it seemed like it's helped him out. So.
Did, when do we need to haul rock for resealing? Do we have to, is that something we have to get done or?
Here within a few weeks. I was planning on doing it during harvest.
Yeah, it'd be a good time to do it.
Yes.
Big gravel, so.
Yeah, gotta stay out of the way of all the traffic running around out there that way.
You're just gonna blade off the area out there?
Yeah.
What you call it?
Kind of like we have been in the past. Blade it
Barnard
off.
this year.
Yes, water this year. Do you have cattle in there this year?
Yes, I do.
So we'll need to set up some
We'll need
temporary
to set up,
fencing.
some type of electric fence,
Okay.
shut the gate at night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I won't have them out until July, and then I'll have to put some more, probably open the gate, let the others down in there too. Can't be cattle there all the time.
Yeah, that's what we did the last time.
Yeah.
Laid it off. We got
Yeah.
a fence around there.
Yeah, that should work. I think they push those trees out of the way enough that we won't have any trouble getting around.
Yeah, make sure they do close that gate at night.
Yeah.
You got anything, Terry?
I really don't.
Well,
It
that's-
didn't take long for the truck traffic to start coming back by my house.
Didn't figure it would.
I think they were going before I got home. I'm sure they appreciated it.
Michael, did you say you looked at the culvert that Milton had addressed last week?
Howard?
Um,
Yes.
Sorry, wrong Weirman.
Was there actually a
You-
culvert there?
I probed and I couldn't find anything. I don't think there was ever one there.
You hear him?
Yeah, I didn't find a, just with my shovel poking around, I didn't see whether the culvert either, but if you're gonna have drainage, you need to have one of some kind.
Yeah, I think in a normal year, it probably never has been a problem, but this year, yes.
You got enough water there to accumulate. Seems to be several of those places.
Yeah.
Accumulates,
you
the
know,
water's been accumulating this year.
I think it's standing more than it was in '93. Seemed to you like it?
Yeah.
Different.
That no-till farming, that water's all supposed to go down, isn't it, instead of across?
It's just all grassland above it.
Oh, it's all grassland?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's always been no-tilled, huh?
The springs are all running and the rain.
Yeah, I think at a lot of those places way back, they never, just a little swag and never put a culvert in,
Yeah.
but it never rained enough to ever bother anything.
There probably wasn't enough traffic either to.
I didn't take the time to spend the money to fix some little off trail or something that they thought would never get used, so. Yeah.
Now on to the west there, is that your pasture where that pond dam is too?
On west of that? No.
Yeah.
No, that's Darrell Line.
Okay.
You had said sometimes where the gravel pits are, depending on the weather, like what we've had, that there are issues getting in and out of them, you know. Have we ever considered some storage of product in these various outlay posts?
We've done some.
I think someone told me that a while back, I mean, not maybe even within the last decade, but that they had hauled some material and left them at the outlying stations, so to speak. Is that something that
Usually that was the sealing rock that we hauled, because most of the places we didn't have room to stockpile a lot of material. So usually that's the only time we stockpiled was this sealing rock when we were gonna seal like Sylvan or Westfall or someplace. We piled it at our shop locations. Maybe sometimes they
Not just
have some
regular road
extra
material.
gravel or something, they might dump a few loads in there, but not a big supply, because just never was the room to do it with.
And getting to the gravel isn't always the problem either. It's the pile itself soaks up, and it is a wet material at that point. That's one of the major problems with it when we get extremely wet like we have been.
The only one we really ever have trouble accessing is Mitler's, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
Wolf
can-
Creek
And that's
up
because
there.
of the crossing there.
Yeah, because we gotta get back up and clean it off. It's got trash and stuff in it and washed off again. We'll have to repair it again.
What's the protocol in gravel in Mitchell County, leasing pits in Mitchell County?
I don't know, I need to get back to that guy. He called me and then set up a date, and then he got into a problem. Somebody had a water line, he had to go fix it because we couldn't meet. And then he called back, we set a date, well, and then I had convention and stuff going on, so I gotta get back with him again and see what kind of arrangements.
Max is convinced that there is a large deposit of gravel across into Mitchell County pasture. I don't think it's ever been tested. I guess as dire as we need gravel, you know, it might be something that it's in Mitchell County though. And I didn't know what the policies were. I know Mitchell County's always looking for gravel too.
I'm gonna say they
You know.
hauled a bunch out of Stewart's, they hauled
Yeah.
out of.
And they've hauled out
Pruitt's
They
down
hauled a
there.
lot out of Pruitt's on us, so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be with the individual landowner?
Yeah, I
Well, you would think so, but
Yeah.
you know, you don't want to start county wars, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, I mean, you know,
We don't want to build a wall?
yeah, I have no problem of you testing it, but I guess I, you know,
Well, I presume when the boy up there called me about us buying gravel from up there in Metro County,
Yeah.
up there by Tipton, that, well,
yeah,
maybe they surely tried it, because they're
Yeah.
always looking for material.
yeah, I know they
They
are.
don't-
Maybe they didn't want it, or maybe it's not worth it, I don't know.
They don't have a pit there, though.
Huh?
They don't have.
No, there's never been a pit in that
If
pasture.
they don't have a pit, I don't.
No,
see
there
no
hadn't been a
problem.
pit there. And I don't know. I don't know whether there's a lot of gravel there, but Max is convinced that it's good gravel and it could be.
Where is it, down around that windmill area down there?
Yeah, along, there's a starting of a creek, I guess, goes through there, and,
Uh-huh.
and it's washed there pretty much. And Max thinks that, and it looks like it's exposed. It may be, of course, it's limestone country too, so.
Yeah,
That's why I was always hesitant, because it's limestone country,
yeah, a lot of times it'll look like it's
Yeah.
got a material, but it's just broken up
It's
stuff
wet.
Yeah.
over the years.
so I don't know, but anyway, if you want to test it
Yeah, if
sometime,
we get
it's
up that way
fine,
sometime, we'll.
you can certainly test it.
yeah,
And I think probably we could, I think the landlord would probably work with you.
What is that material called that comes, the grizzly, is that what it's called?
We don't use any grizzly on our roads.
You talking about, farmer screenings? Is that what you're talking about?
I was specifically told that it was grizzly. That is
We
on,
used to get grizzly
west
from
of
out here. at
Sylvan High School.
Quartzsite, yeah.
how long ago, a couple years ago?
Oh, I don't think we've got any for
Oh,
10,
yeah.
15 years.
What would be the most
Since I've been
recent
here, we
material that
haven't.
got put on the road west of the high school in Sylvan?
1-inch roadstone. It's an engineered mix that they put together.
Is that what we're purchasing?
Yes.
Well, I think what was put on there west of the high school, what you're talking about, is from Wolf Creek up there, Myers, gravel. And that, we patched some of that in there here a year ago, something like that.
So we don't know which,
Yeah, I can go back to sure, but I know we haul out, we patch in different areas, and we was hauling out of Wolf Creek at that time, so. I know that's where most of that material come. We may have spotted in some bad places when we couldn't get to there, or the crossing was washed out or something, with some of this other rock. But I'm sure that was all from that Wolf Creek. Or since I've been back here anyway, the last couple of years, so.
in
That's
that
my
program
knowledge.
that you found, did you get to see an example of what the site looks like?
Yes.
So if you were to like take your cursor over top of an area of the map, you could pull up pictures that someone has uploaded of that area?
It will have color-coded push pin type things on the map showing us where there's projects. And then you click on that project and it pops up. It's going to tell you the information, like you said. It's going to be time-stamped. If there's a photo attached to it, the description. And then on our end of it, we can put that if the crews are there working, that it's in progress. And then once it's done, we can show that it's project completed.
Well, I personally would like to make a decision on this sooner than later, instead of let it go for,
I'm expecting more information. I would like to see that before we,
and if you have any comparatives,
yeah.
I mean, from searching just to see, but I think that may address a lot of the issues that we've been having.
Have you got more than one grader operator in the Denmark area?
Yeah,
Well,
two, well, they're out of Vesper.
They're out of
One
Vesper.
goes north and one goes south.
So it's originated in Vesper.
Yes.
Is there any particular reason they'd be uprooting the roads up north?
Doing what?
Uprooting the roads? Not grading, but gouging, leaving furrows of material down the middle of the road.
I was actually asked if there was a replacement up there, if there was someone new that was doing it recently that hadn't been doing it before. Where did Lance come from when you took him out of there?
Southwest, south and southwest part of Lincoln.
Okay,
Lincoln
so
South.
there wasn't a rotation that happened with anyone up there?
No. I don't, how far east you're talking,
Is the person that took his spot the intern? I forget his name.
Yes.
Is that
No, yeah,
part-time now?
yeah.
Let's get up there and take a look.
Yeah,
Plus
I don't know.
farmer's out doing some of his own work. It's been known to happen numerous times.
No, I was
Yeah.
asked the same question about the same
What
area
road is it?
to the west.
North to south, Denver, or Denmark down to Vesper, I believe, somewhere in that bottom before you head up over the hill.
On the main gravel?
On the main road to
One
Denver?
there, and then there's a dirt road or two that's got, I don't know what they were doing. I did travel. I got pictures of somebody else.
Yeah, I know some of that back in there, on them dirt roads back there, the boys were talking, they had some bad water holes, mud holes and stuff through there, and they were trying to get them dried out the other day, so I don't know whether that's what they're talking or not.
I don't know either. Pictures I seen was definitely not professional.
I was gonna say, I was down that main Denmark Road there the other day, and I didn't see anything on it at that time.
Yeah, that's the latter part of last week, I think. Wednesday, Friday or something.
They hauled some
That's what I was
material up there Thursday on, from Denmark north, some places up through there.
Yeah.
I'll have to look and see if I can find what the road name was, but this is.
100th Road, they kind of graded up the west shoulder, and the gravel was really bad on that. Up to about 3 miles in there, or 4 miles.
From
Oh,
Union
this is
there
what I
by
was-
Peterson and
Yeah,
down through there.
correct, yeah.
Yeah, I know it. He's trying to fix that from where the telephone had it roughed up, and we kinda got a lot of extra loose material that made a mess out of it.
Yeah, that telephone didn't really help the road.
Right, and I don't
Was
see
there a
that
Was
they,
there a payment to the county or any damage or any gravel from them?
Probably get some out of them, surely.
I think we should write a request to them personally, because I've had multiple complaints about that. And that they were so far in on the road too. It wasn't even the actual shoulder.
Yeah, I'd like to know where that's at. I'd like
I'm
to
gonna look and
investigate
see if I
that.
can find it.
Looks almost like a loader's dug it up instead of a motor grader being there.
Yeah.
We haven't had a loader out.
There's a pearl power plowed out across the road, that's
I
not,
don't-
not loader work.
I'm sorry?
There was a pearl plowed out across the road, like a blade would do it. That's not loader work. And then, when they dropped the blade down in the ditch and just drug it out on the road.
That looks like a motor grader track there. Where it's at.
I'll
Needs
look and
ground.
see if I got it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say where it's at.
I'll look.
But
see
I
if
know
can
they
find it in
were.
the message.
Like I say, working up there on some of them dirt roads back in northwest of or southwest of Denmark, trying to get some water holes drained out and stuff, so.
115 and T. What's T? What's the T road?
Teal.
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 Teal? Like,
Is it T or is it teal?
Well, that's just, it depends on what map they looked at. But I don't think the general public has our map.
Our map, T would be back down. Must be teal, surely.
North of James Knowles.
that's one too. So somewhere right there.
Also, Sage
Ward
Ward,
Oh,
is talking,
Parrish
he's
is
been
like
working the
here,
dirt
right?
roads and stuff
So that
out
would
in
be-
here
Mhm.
this morning.
That must be it then.
So he's done something up through there, I don't know.
Sage Road from Brimmer's east to where it turns south. Right there in that elbow, there's a ditch across that road. But normally it's not there, so you scoot around that corner pretty good, and boy, I tell you, it'll yank you. Water that's come across that road to save it out. Can't remember the folks that live south. There's a farm just south of that, to the corner there on the left, or on the east side. South of Mike Spears. That dirt road goes up once.
Daryl Herman's,
The one by Daryl Herman
just north of them,
Darryl, yeah.
on a
gravel,
On a
there's
gravel
some
road.
washovers, the intersection.
Oh, yeah, probably. She still live up there?
I believe so.
I haven't seen her for a long time.
They've been selling, he's trying to sell equipment on that stuff.
Huh?
They've been trying to sell equipment on that stuff. Grandson over there.
Herman? Oh, well. They must have got quite a rain up there, 'cause that creek, those ponds must have been running pretty good up above there. There's watershed ponds, so much water's come down that creek. Okay, anything else, guys? Sorry, I had a problem. Got taken care of. I feel that. Well, have a good week.
All righty.
Hope you don't get rained out on Wednesday. but-
Hope not.
Hi.
Maybe a few little sprinkles, maybe once in a
Yeah.
while, but nothing drastic.
We had enough Saturday to shut us down for about an hour. Let's
I
start
was
back
out
up.
working in the garden there,
Sure.
I'm gonna get rained down here, and never did anything, I went down to my sister and always put a tire on the mower, and it's so wet down here, it's rained down here.
You know, he's there on, doing that alfalfa, and I think on the other side of the creek there on Roberts, I think it's just pouring like heck. They just never did get across it.
They're kinda crazy. Yeah. Have a good one.
Hi.
Mark,
Hi, Aljo.
is Kristen
Alexa.
coming?
Hello.
No, her daughter broke her arm this morning, so she's got her in the ER somewhere.
Uh-oh.
And so
Just-
Greg's gonna meet me here in a minute.
Oh, Greg's coming, okay, well, good, I have a question for him, so.
So are we next on your list?
You're ready, yeah, come on up, we're ready to start.
Yeah, we had to make some adjustments on who was doing what
Plan,
today.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. So
What'd she do, fall, or?
she was doing chin-ups or something
Oh.
on a bar and fell off the bar and she was, so it was early this morning, and so she was telling me that, I said, well, let's hope it's not broken. And she goes, well, it's crooked, so,
Good chance, huh?
yeah, so it's a chance that,
That it might be broke.
yeah, so she's dealing with that.
It's gonna be pretty hot.
It's almost, I turned it on medium access.
Well, the drive up here was beautiful. That haze in the valleys, you know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, down by Great Bend, we don't have any valleys, you
Yeah.
know? And so it's a little bit,
Yeah,
um, I came up to the lake over the weekend and got to eat at your Flyboy restaurant
Oh,
over
yeah.
in Sylvan, and that's a good place, you
yeah.
know,
Yes, it's good.
really nice food. Fun coming up there, you know.
It's cute the way they did that.
Did you get any rain in Great Bend yesterday?
Just a bit. I mean,
Just a
it was
bit.
like I was cooking out and all of a sudden one cloud came over and it rained out they were, some baseball game they had to call off between Hayes and
All right.
the Larks. And Great Bend has one of those college teams now
Yeah.
called the Batcats. It's a new first season for
First
it.
season.
You know, they had to call the game.
Yeah. We, I was down there yesterday to a family reunion. I guess I left Ellenwood about 4 o'clock or something, and I ran into it at, somewhere on the other side of Hollywood. Pretty good shower, actually.
Yeah, it
Through
was,
there.
it was kind of spotty. you know.
Yeah, it looked like it. Then actually, it rained north of Lincoln here, but it didn't. I live on north and it didn't rain there. but
Okay. How far are you?
I live about 20 miles from here, just northeast.
Okay, okay.
But you have to go up 14 to go
To get to it.
or I do anyway, use the better roads.
Hi, Terry.
Good morning.
Good to see you. I don't know when Greg for sure will be here, so if you,
Okay. Yeah, if you have some things you want to discuss
I
with us, it's
wanted
fine.
to- we've had a good transition, and we had an employee meeting last week.
There he is.
There he is, okay. We had a good meeting with all the team and encouraged, I think we've got a good group of people working there. And you know how there's always some apprehension when you
Change.
new people.
Management.
We were assuring them that we want to be careful, and obviously we're going through an analysis of, as we go through an analysis of the operations and see what we can do to, make adjustments, improve. There's a significant use of agency that we feel like, and that's a problem no matter where you go here. It's just a shortage of labor. So we're going to work on trying to adjust that without creating any problem. But obviously, the more agency we use, that's more financial pressure. The less agency we use, and I don't have a solution yet, but our goal is to want to do that.
You find that there's a lot of hospitals and nursing homes that would like to hear about it.
Yeah, and some of it is obviously related to benefit package, those kind of things, and those can't just, you can't just change those overnight.
Yeah.
And doing some homegrown work, trying to grow people internally, and being able to offer CNA packages to people that aren't CNAs that could get, get licensed to do that and those kind of things. So
In the past, I think they've done some CNA courses in conjunction with the hospital.
I think they
Correct?
have, yeah.
I think it's been fairly successful, getting
It's-
younger people for a short period of time before
It
they go
is,
to
and
college.
it gives those young people, it's so funny to listen to some people when they decide they want to be in medical or healthcare, and they get licensed as a CNA, and they go, well, I don't think I want to do that bad.
Some of them do, though. go on.
It is, some of them, I had a daughter-in-law that did that, and now she's a PA for an orthopedic surgeon.
Yep.
And she paid her way through college being a CNA. But she was one that, okay, yeah, this is good for me, and I want to make this a career, so. What Greg and I wanted to open the door into some discussions with you about is, I've reviewed the Eric Johnson report, and I know, Terry, you work with Kristen and Greg kind of as the commissioner of involvement over there. And obviously our goal would be to develop the greenhouses. But obviously before then, we've got to make sure that we are in compliance with KDHE. And I understand there's some discussion with you all about, okay, what kind of a capital investment is really needed? What can we get by without? What would be required? I understand that you've had had some discussion with Eric about the generator.
Yes, he is actually working on supposedly an estimate for us to do that, and I thought we'd have it today, but we didn't evidently. They weren't quite as far along as he thought. I had to contact the electrical engineer to get him started back up again. So.
Okay. So what we wanted to talk about was, if we were to build a greenhouse, frankly, we're still going to be in that location for probably 2.5, 3 years. It's not something that can be, just bam.
Yeah.
So we want to see how you felt about asking Eric to sit down and identify those absolute mandatory minimum necessary changes that address the KDHE survey for the last couple of years, the deficiencies that,
Floors
yeah, the flooring, some of that concrete cracking.
Right, situation critical type stuff here.
And so since Eric did that first report, it kind of makes sense to us to say, okay, from candidly a non-political position, what is required to make the facility compliant for the next couple of years? And then wanted to see how you felt about asking him, obviously he works for you guys, and asking him to review that from a critical path of, what are the bare bones investment that has to be dealt with based on Greg's survey.
I was under the impression that Kristen came and told us she was obtaining estimates from the same tile company that put in the new bathroom, and that was going to address the flooring issue.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, so.
She was gonna talk to Ritter about that.
Yes,
I don't know
we've
if
tried to
he's got
contact
it.
Mr. Ritter. He is so swamped right now, we can't get him even to come over and get a re-estimate on those areas just
But
yet.
there were a few other things. There were a few other items that they cited besides the floor, wasn't there?
There was,
Yeah.
I don't have that with me.
Going through the list, I've kind of highlighted a couple things. The things that are gonna be with the floor is gonna be your foundational needs, the cracking, all that. We've obviously got some kind of settling going on there, so that's gonna be an important deal. Of course, the kitchen flooring is a major deal. That's one they've really been eyeing. I had a few things on my list that I kind of stood out. The next big thing was, we haven't been dinged on it yet, but it could happen in a heartbeat, is gonna be our grease trap, relocating the drain. We have odors right now because it pumps out of the grease trap and goes right directly back to the building. When Eric and all the other associates were out there, we talked to them about that, and they recommended piping around the outside of the building back to the sewer line, as it should have been.
That would eliminate that odor.
Yes, get it completely away from the building.
And we've got some flooding issues because of the.
Correct.
Coming back into the building.
Correct. Yeah, if that sump pump goes out, we get a pretty good flood.
Basically, on that, you're talking about running the sewer line from the grease trap to the main.
To the main.
Probably a couple hundred feet.
Approximately, yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
But across the parking lot.
Yeah, it's gonna have to cross the parking lot to get back in there.
what, and I don't, no crystal ball here, but obviously, when we would move out, then you have a public building that could be utilized for whatever you think your needs are, or you tear it down, one of the two. But I would like to see, okay, what makes sense to be compliant with KDHE, and at the same time, our investments in the building that are solid investments for the future of the building, whatever, whatever it might be. I've been told that you guys are looking at, maybe there's an EMS possibility, there's a jail possibility, there's a wellness center and there's a number of things that you maybe as commissioners or as citizens have talked about. And it just makes sense to me that if we could make your investment consistent with your future need and address the compliance issues at the same time, then you're not putting bad money down a rat hole. And that's, if I was sitting there-
regardless of what you use that old part of the building for, that grease trap is one thing that has to be addressed,
Yeah.
because it's gonna come right back in, just like it does now.
well, and the investment in a generator, that's a
Yeah.
huge chunk of money. But if you were to put EMS or a jail there, you'd have to have a generator there anyway. you know,
I mean,
as
that's
far
a
as-
need that has to be done
Yeah, it
anyway.
has to be, we don't have any
So
choice.
even if you-
Unless you have your greenhouses built before November, it's gonna have to have a generator.
Yeah, so I guess where we're at is how, would we be fair to say that, Eric would be a good source for analyzing these critical needs and then asking him to evaluate that and maybe, maybe structure it so that, he represents, sends out some RFPs or whatever to get some contractors involved as far as at least a bidding process, so we'd know what it would cost you. Because I know you need to know what it's gonna cost, and then you can't really make a decision. But if we're, during that process, if KDHE shows up for another survey, and if we're in the process of addressing the needs, that speaks really well to them too, and it helps us not get dinged, or at least we're in a plan of correction, as far as how we're dealing with it with you all.
Well, it certainly makes sense to continue with him because he's got the groundwork.
I mean, he knows.
He's got quite a little of the groundwork done. I mean, he was well into this project until they pulled him back. And he, when I visited with him, was quite interested in helping us in any way he could. They want our business, I guess I would say. They're still wanting our business. So, I think, probably if that's the direction feel like we need to go to address the absolute necessary parts of it. You're right, we don't want to be putting a lot of money in that if this place is going to be gone in 3 years. I mean, that's it. When we developed the plan, when he started, we had no idea that we're looking at another 20, 30, 40 years down the road, having compliance. But the way things are moving now, it is one of those that we're going to have to do the necessary things because, that's going to be required. So I have no problem of contacting him again to bring him in.
A good starting point may be to just request the information that he's already put together. The bills totaling to this date are approximately $30,000 for what the county has paid him. So I'm assuming at this point, if he has $30,000 worth of material compiled, we should be able to look at that and get a rough estimate of what he's already looking at before we ask him to do something specific. We have not received one piece of paper for $30,000. At this point, I think since we have paid those bills, we should collect what material comes with that bill and go from there.
I read, there is this report that you,
The initial
obviously,
one?
is this the only one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so and maybe, obviously I don't know what your fee structure is with him, and I don't want you to incur a bunch of extra money, but the formality of going through the architect as to, okay, what's his estimate versus what are the bids going to look like, and having him control that environment will get you a better price, frankly, because he'll be seeking competitive on flooring, okay? As an example, well, there's a chunk of flooring that needs to be replaced, and I think in the report it says it's going to cost between $73,000 and $141,000. Well, which one? Well, you can't quantify that until you actually get 2 flooring guys in there to bid.
Give you an idea, that's a big chunk of
And
money
then-
difference.
The architect has a tendency to cause his flooring guys to take action instead of delay. It's
Yeah,
like
we've
what
been
you
trying to
said.
get rid of here for a couple
So,
months.
I value I don't want you spending money you don't need to spend, but on the other hand, I don't know how to, I don't wanna micromanage, and I don't want you to have to micromanage something on paper that none of us know about. I don't know the thing about flooring.
All I'm suggesting is that it's not on you, it's on us. We need to collect the information that we've paid for. Because at this point, for all we know, he could have the exact dimensions of all the flooring, which we could hand over and say, okay, now distribute it to the bidders at that point. You know,
I agree.
without collecting a piece of paper, I don't want to ask him to do double the work and get double the
Okay.
I think I would,
Probably the best thing is to have Eric come down and tell us what he knows.
Yeah, a starting point then, and
Yeah.
that's
And
fine.
he's very willing to do that. He told me he would be glad to come down.
Okay,
so
Well,
could we
that's fair.
schedule you to come back with him?
yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
that would be appropriate to have everyone at the table.
I'm available, I'm gonna be here weekly, and I can tie my trips back to when you want us here, you know, Mondays.
Yeah, we can contact Eric, find out when he'd be available.
Okay.
Dawn, would you be willing to ask Eric if he can come on a Monday, next Monday, or the following Monday?
And then we'll contact you and let you know
Okay.
when he's available to come.
Okay, excellent.
You know, if he's gonna do the generator project, and we have these other little projects to add in with it, I think he's a logical choice, but he may already have the groundwork all done, like Alexis said, you know, it may be
Yeah,
all done.
you paid him 30,000, you might as well,
Other than the bid
utilize what he just
process.
told you, yeah. Okay,
Was there anything else listed? I have flooring for the entrances to the rooms and the kitchen flooring, and I have the grease trap.
There was
the
some extra,
concrete work that's required before the flooring goes in to shore the building up.
I guess I'm just qualifying everything
Okay,
as
but
flooring.
Yeah,
that's-
at one time on the flooring, I know when we originally walked around, I'm sure it was Eric, when we had all those different guys looking, or one of the engineers that said something about cutting part of the flooring out where that has settled going into rooms and putting some kind of expansion joint. I mean, that's just flooring stuff, like you say. Let me dig
So
through.
whatever entails fixing the flooring to those entranceways in the
Right.
kitchen, whether it be
And there were
Kitchen
concrete work.
and resident rooms.
Rooms.
There were some resident rooms that were cited.
rooms, yeah.
Yeah,
did they side any of the exterior doors? I know there's some that are up in here coming off of it. and different-
walking around with the surveyors, I have had them, we did not get wrote up, but she did give me a little lecture about them, that they needed to be, improved in some form or way. And I know what she's talking about. A lot of the veneer is peeling off the
Yeah.
doors. It's not the prettiest, I mean, most of them function. I've got one that does not function very well as far as locking, and it's all stripped out. There's nothing I can do without, I put bigger bolts in, this and that. It's not seeming to work. But yeah, there's the other thing that she mentioned, we have done a window project, replaced a lot of the windows. One of the quick things I had to do on my feet was she noticed I had a sticker that says, do not use the window, it doesn't function. Little sticker on there, and she said, remove that please. And we, being kind, so we didn't get rode up. So, but yeah, we've got windows in the north hall that do not function. You can't get parts for it. That may be an outside thing. I don't know if that was listed on here. So yeah, there are a couple
There was. you'd
items
mentioned-
that,
What about, you'd mentioned about the egress lighting issue, is that?
egress lighting, yes. Now, if we do this generator, egress lighting should not be a problem. Biggest thing right now, so without the generator, yes, we didn't have lights that would light up at night. They're on battery backup. So if we're on a generator and we power the whole facility, I don't believe that's gonna be a problem. Other than possibly our front entrance area where we've got the short little sidewalk lights. To get better light to the parking area, it might be nice to raise them up where you can get a little more light projected, but that's somebody else's design. If Eric thought that would be better, I have no idea. We'll just have to visit.
Well, and I think he can probably give us some insight as to,
I think he has some surveys, doesn't he?
Yes,
That he was using.
yeah.
yes, I believe he does.
The only other issue that was cited on the survey that had nothing all the issues were personnel related, and then the only issues that were structural were, on this 2015 survey, were the floors, and there was some paint chipping. Was that already taken care of?
Yes,
That was the only other
yes.
thing that was on there.
The painting has been taken care of. Exterior paint, I don't know if that's what you're talking about on the assisted
No, it
living.
was,
It was
no,
internal?
it was in.
Okay, that was
interior.
behind chairs, yes. The drywall, where they've got their chairs back against the wall and they knock it out, and yes, all that has been replaced and repaired.
I didn't read through the entire survey previous to that, but those were the only two things on the 2015 survey.
Okay, well, we'll just wait to hear from you
Okay,
guys
yeah,
as
yeah,
far
we'll
as when
get-
Eric
we'll
can
get
come
hold of
down
him.
and we'll go from there.
Don, you'll contact them after you talk to Eric and see when he's available. Okay.
What was that rock for? Kruger?
That was for the smoking area in the garden. We had to move the smoking area 10 feet away from the building. We didn't have rock in that location in the garden, so we put rock in there. And a picnic table that we already had to give
Back
that
there.
area away from the building.
The garden area,
Yeah.
Out the garden.
patio area, whatever we call it.
Are you being given an update on where we are with expenditures for the year under the budget, or?
I will be, but not yet. We've got my financial analyst is helping us review the QuickBooks to make sure we're all on the same page, and that's not completed yet. So I understand from John that you guys have allocated, what is it, $125,000 a year in capital investment from your budget? Is that what?
This year,
Yeah, that's approximately, yeah.
And what he asked us to do is, at a point, identify to you what we think that investment needs to be made in, and then give you periodic updates as to where we are with that budget, and making sure that you're comfortable with what we're doing with the budget. And we've not done that yet, but that's what he asked me to do, and so we will be doing that. So that way, there's real transparency on, so you see where we're investing the money. And
That's how we used to do the window project. We kind of forecast where we were at.
Right. Do it as you
Later in the
can,
year,
yeah.
we replace X number of windows.
Okay. Okay.
And roofs, I understand the roofs.
Right, I was just getting ready to put back over my shoulder. Don, did you get something from Jess on our roofing?
I haven't yet, but I had a call in, he was gone on Friday, so hopefully.
Okay, I called him, he said he sent something to you, it might have been an email, or I don't know.
Well, I don't know, I'll search.
All right.
Did he did he discover any damage on the flat roofs?
The only roof we have is the shingles on the assisted living, the nursing side. The flat roof is fine, but we do have a broken skylight that he put down. And that's, the gutters, all that seems to be okay, it's heavy enough around that flat roof. But yes, that's all the shingles and one skylight were what he recommended.
re-shingling the entire assisted living?
Yes, ma'am.
And nursing home.
And the nursing side.
Held out 100%.
From hail damage? There was no insurance assessment?
Yeah.
Oh.
This was the insurance.
Jess is your
Okay,
KCAM guy.
okay.
Yeah, if you could let me know, and if I need to try to get estimates for you guys or something, I can find some contractors if you need me to.
The assisted living is original shingles, but the nursing home was just shingled 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago.
The assisted living?
No,
Or the nursing? Yeah, 5 to 7 years ago, I'd say we had it re-roofed, so that's kind of a bummer. The assisted living, we've struggled with keeping shingles on that roof because they weren't applied very well, and they are original, and so I'm not, yeah.
A little short on workmanship.
Well, maybe there's an opportunity to fix that.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, guys?
It's all, it's on our list.
Anybody else have anything? Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thanks for your time. Y'all take care.
You too. Thank you.
Don, you have anything for us? Anybody else have anything? We'll stand adjourned until
Plant
Monday
mile
morning.
of. Everybody come I'll help Flint Milo.